All right, let's get into it. You've probably heard the term FinTech thrown around a lot lately, right? It's one of the most exciting, fast moving fields out there. So today, we're going to break down what it actually takes to not just get a job, but to build a really successful career where finance and technology collide. This quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. We're not just talking about giving old school banking a fresh coat of paint. Nope. This is about completely tearing down the old ways and building something new from the ground up. Think about it. You pay for coffee with a tap of your phone, right? Or you let an algorithm manage your investments. That's fintech. And the whole point is to be the person leading that change, not just watching it happen. Okay, so before we can even talk about jobs and salaries, we've got to understand just how massive this fintech revolution really is. So let's dive into why this is such a huge deal for your career right now. So, what's the big deal, right? Why is everyone talking about fintech? What's behind this explosive growth? And maybe the most important question for you is why should you be paying really close attention to all this? Okay, look at this. It really breaks down the why. First off, the industry is just exploding with growth. We're talking huge amounts of money being poured into it globally. And it's not just one thing. You've got so many options. You could be shaking up the old banks with new digital platforms, using AI to manage people's money, or even diving into the wild world of crypto. The bottom line is this. If you have that killer combo of finance, tech, and data skills, you're going to have a serious edge in the job market. So it's one thing to know there's gold in the hills, right? It's another thing to have the pickaxe and the map to go get it. That's what this next part is all about, building your toolkit. We're going to look at the exact skills you need to master to really make your mark in this field. So how do you actually get these skills? Well, this is where a specialized program comes in. Something like a postgraduate diploma in fintech is built specifically to bridge that gap between the two worlds. And when you see something like AICTE approved, that's basically a stamp of quality, a national standard in India that says this program is legit. The whole idea is to turn you into someone who's bilingual, fluent in both the language of finance and the language of tech. And this is really the secret sauce, what we call the dual advantage. It's like getting the best of both worlds. On one hand, you get that solid core business knowledge, the stuff that never goes out of style. But on the other hand, you're diving deep into the cutting-edge tech that's changing everything right now. Things like blockchain, AI, and the tools that make it all happen, like Python and R. That combination, that's the sweet spot. That's what companies are desperately looking for. And when we say hands-on, we really mean it. This isn't about sitting in a lecture hall reading a dusty textbook. No way. You're actually doing the work. You might be working with RegTech, which, by the way, is a super hot field where you use tech to cut through all the complicated financial rules. Or maybe you're in a lab building a financial model with Python to try and predict where the market's headed next. These are the real-world practical skills that make a hiring manager say, "We need you." At the end of the day, it's not just about what you know, it's about what you can prove you know. And that's where these value-added certifications come in. Think of them as badges of honor that you can show to any employer, whether it's a certification in Python or in a tool like Tableau for visualizing data, or even something from a major stock exchange like India's NSE or BSE. These things are concrete proof that you've got the goods. Okay, so you've built this amazing toolkit. You've got the skills, you've got the certifications. Now for the fun part. Where does it all lead? Let's talk about the actual jobs, the real-world career paths that open up once you have this kind of expertise. So you see a big, bold number like this, 100%. And you might be wondering, what's that all about? Well, in this context, it usually means 100% placement assistance. It's not a guarantee of a job, but it means you get a whole team in your corner helping you get ready. We're talking resume workshops, mock interviews, all the practical support you need to nail that job search. And check out the variety of roles this opens up. You're not locked into one single path. You could be a fintech product manager actually designing the next cool payment app that everyone's going to use. Or maybe you're a blockchain analyst digging into how that tech can change everything. You could even be on the front lines of security using AI to sniff out fraud, or become a consultant who helps the big old banks finally catch up to the future. These aren't just jobs, they're seriously high-impact careers. Now, the classes and the skills are super important, but let's be real, where you learn matters a lot. The right institution is like having the perfect guide on a tough expedition. So let's use IMAS as an example here to see what you should be looking for in a program that can really set you up for success. So, what are the things that really make a difference? Well, it boils down to a few key things. First, an industry endorsed curriculum. That's just a fancy way of saying that the stuff you're learning is exactly what companies are looking for right now. Then there's access to innovation labs, places where you can actually get your hands dirty and build things. And of course, getting to learn from people who are actually leaders in the industry, that's just priceless for staying ahead of the curve. This really highlights a massive difference in how you can learn. Think about it. There's the traditional way, sitting, listening, memorizing theories. And then there's the IMAS way. It's all about hands-on experience, getting into labs, tackling real projects, and learning from the pros who do this stuff every single day. It's the difference between reading about swimming and actually jumping in the pool. It's all about doing. All right, so let's say you're feeling it. You're feeling inspired, you see the potential, and you're thinking, okay, this could be for me. So, what's next? Let's get practical and break down the actual steps you can take to turn this idea into your reality. First things first, are you eligible? Let's run through the typical requirements. You'll usually need a bachelor's degree, and it often doesn't matter what you studied. For a lot of postgraduate programs, especially in India, you'll also need a decent score on one of those standardized entrance exams. You know, like the CAT, XAT, or the GMAT, which is used all over the world. And the application process itself, it's usually pretty straightforward, broken down into a few simple steps. You'll start online, fill out a form, upload your documents and test scores, then you'll have an interview and a review of your statement of purpose. And if all goes well, you secure your seat. See? Totally manageable. And just to recap what this kind of program looks like, we're talking about a full-time 2-year journey. It's broken into 4 semesters designed to take you from the ground up, starting with the basics and building you into an expert with advanced specialized skills. So, here we are, right back where we started. This whole digital finance revolution, it's not something that's coming soon. It's here. It's happening right now, all around us. So I guess there's really only one question left to ask yourself. Are you going to sit on the sidelines and watch it unfold? Or are you ready to jump in and lead it?